Long before humans drew lines on maps and called them borders, the great Dandak forest belonged to something far older, something that breathed fear itself. They called him MAHABHEDIYA. He was an ancient werewolf, a creature caught between man and beast, whose very howl could bend the trees and send even the most ferocious predators fleeing in terror. For thousands of years he was the undisputed king and protector of Dandak. No invader dared to trespass, and none who did ever survived his wrath. No curse could touch his land, and no dark magic could find a foothold. Even death itself seemed to avoid his shadow, because MAHABHEDIYA was immortal. He could not be killed. Not by any weapon forged by man or god, not by any spell woven by the most powerful sorcerers. The only way the king of Dandak could ever face his end was by choosing a successor, another king, to take his place. And MAHABHEDIYA never ever intended to make that choice. He was eternal. The forest was his, and that was the law of his world. But that law was shattered the night his son fell. Deva, his beloved child, lay dying on the cold forest floor. His chest was torn open, not by the claws of a rival beast, but by a poison forged in a realm outside our own universe, a venom that defied nature itself. The entire forest screamed in agony. Birds took flight in a panic, animals scrambled for cover, and the very ground trembled with a shared grief. But for the first time in his endless life, MAHABHEDIYA stood helpless. The immortal king, the invincible protector, could do nothing. He tried everything. His claws, strong enough to tear mountains from their roots, could not stitch the wound on Deva's chest. His howl, powerful enough to summon storms from clear skies, could not call life back into his son's fading body. The forest held its breath, waiting, watching. And in that heavy silence, MAHABHEDIYA understood the terrible truth. The price for saving Deva, the only price that could be paid, was himself. Slowly, with a weight heavier than all his millennia, the ancient king knelt. He gently lifted Deva into his lap, feeling the boy's breath grow shallow, fading like mist at dawn. Pressing his forehead against his son's, MAHABHEDIYA whispered words no living creature had heard in centuries, an ancient oath of succession, to protect everyone. "My son," he murmured, "I will always be with you, inside you." Then he rose, carrying Deva's limp form, and walked to the heart clearing, the sacred center of his kingdom. As he entered, every tree bowed its branches, and every beast, from the smallest mouse to the largest tiger, gathered in a silent circle of witness. Blood dripped from MAHABHEDIYA's claws, not from any wound, but from the spiritual breaking of an ancient, unbreakable law. He was about to shatter his own immortality. With a voice that boomed across the clearing and shook the foundations of all realms, he made his declaration. "From this moment, Deva is the Maharaja of Dandak." The forest itself responded. The sound, like bone cracking, loud and sharp, echoed through the trees. But it wasn't the sound of flesh. It was the sound of reality itself breaking and reforming. MAHABHEDIYA's shadow, the very essence of his power and eternal life, peeled away from his body. It flowed like black fire, a living darkness, straight into Deva. For a fleeting moment, MAHABHEDIYA smiled, a look of profound love and peace on his face, and then he collapsed. The immortal king's body dissolved into ash, scattering into the very soil he had protected for millennia, becoming one with his kingdom. At that exact moment, the venomous wound on Deva's chest sealed itself. The bleeding stopped. His heart, once silent, began to beat with a powerful, steady rhythm. His lungs pulled in the forest air, and he gasped back to life. But when Deva opened his eyes, they were not human anymore. They glowed with the same ancient power, the same primal hunger and deep mercy that had once ruled all of Dan. Even today, travelers who dare to venture deep into the forest swear that when the new king howls at the moon, two voices echo through the trees. One is young and strong, the other is ancient and timeless. Because MAHABHEDIYA did not truly die that day, he simply became the king from within. Thank you for watching. If you love stories of myth and legend, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next journey into the unknown. We'll see you in the next one.